Hello everyone and welcome to Crappy Reviews, where the games aren't always crappy, but the reviews usually are. I'm the Crap Gamer with you as always. Please take time out to hit the like and subscribe button if you like the review. Thanks for joining me. Today I decided to review Ryse Son of Rome Legendary Edition. This is basically the Game of the Year edition and it comes with download codes for all the added content. But if you have the Day 1 edition that came at launch with the Season Pass, there's no need to update with this version. It's kind of funny because playing through the Order 1886 on PS4 made me want to come back to this game, and I know I'm not alone. I think it's mostly just to compare the graphics or gameplay aspects, but whatever the reason, I'm glad I did. Ryse to date has received some pretty mixed reviews, so I was hoping to give my take. I know there's probably a lot of reviewers who went into playing the game with preconceived notions thanks to that E3 reveal, but I actually kept an open mind from the start. Now the first thing you'll notice when you load up Ryse is the absolutely stunning graphics. This is the best looking console game I've ever seen or played. It is impressive how much detail Crytek was able to fit into the game, but then again that's their forte. The landscapes and character models are just breathtaking. There isn't anything to complain about from a graphical standpoint in this game. Now I think the fact that this game looks so amazing and is a launch title says a lot about the potential of the Xbox One in the future. We all know the Xbox One didn't have the most mature graphical tools at launch, so it makes Ryse even more the marvel. Now the gameplay is what most people are really interested in. It can get a little repetitive after a while, and there's no real way to level up your weapons, but it's no more repetitive than say Batman Arkham Origins or say Assassin's Creed fights. Now at its heart, the game is a hybrid hack and slash game that is mixing in the fight style of Batman, and the free-flowing combat works just the same. And you can string together hits and combos, and eventually you'll see a skull above your enemy's head, and that means you can choose to do an execution if you want to. Pulling the right trigger and the execution starts. Once it starts, you'll have to match the color that the enemy turns with the corresponding colors on the controller. It's either Y or X. Now as you make your way through the levels, you'll be able to upgrade your health and combat sort of the way you might in an RPG, but a little less involved. Now there's also a pretty cool multiplayer mode as well. It's not competitive multiplayer thankfully, but it's basically you and another person team up in a fighting arena or coliseum and you battle hordes of enemies together. It's definitely an interesting take on the mode and it can be a lot of fun for shorter periods of time. And the Legendary Edition gives you a ton of content and maps to enjoy, and I think that that's one of the better aspects of this game because the actual campaign is a bit on the short side. Most people are going to finish it in 7 to 10 hours, so having multiplayer actually helps a lot. Now the story is pretty typical but good. You play as Marius Titus and you're basically telling your story. It isn't in chronological order, which can throw you off a bit, but the story itself is just you out for revenge because your entire family was killed by barbarians, or so you were led to believe. Dun dun dun! There's actually quite an interesting turn of events in the game that puts you on the edge of your seat for the entire game. Plot twists that you typically see in movies are presented here in a really interesting tale. Your father's dying words were asking you to save Rome, but maybe Rome doesn't want to be saved. Think about it. Now the voice acting in this game is really well done, and they use real stage actors and even motion capture for their performances. This is a high quality production from start to finish. This isn't to say that Ryse doesn't have some problems. The game is very linear, which is probably due to the fact that this was a launch game. The thing that bugged me the most was the fact that the enemies all looked the same. The heavy shield barbarians all looked exactly alike, the little minion barbarians all looked the same, and so on and so forth. If you played Batman Arkham Asylum, this was an issue in that game as well. Now it could be fixed if we ever do see a sequel, but it isn't a reason to absolutely hate on the game or anything. I can see why this game wouldn't be for everyone, but it is a pretty good game nonetheless. It certainly isn't everything it should be, but if you were looking for something to play on your Xbox One or you haven't played it yet, why not get it? It's pretty cheap. Ryse Son of Rome could be what you're looking for if you want to show off the most impressive new generation graphics with a great story. Ryse Son of Rome gets a solid 8 out of 10. Please remember to comment, rate, subscribe, and rack 'em up. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer, out.